Hey, good morning. So the very first episode of the Department of Public Safety's 10-8 podcast. My name is Chris Chapmond, and I'm here with my co-host. I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves in just a minute. But before we do this, I want to let everybody know what makes this possible. So this is a new chapter in the Department of Public Safety in Clem. We're actually, what is this, the 21st century now? We're moving into the 21st century with our capabilities of sharing news about law enforcement with the state of Arkansas. But this would not be possible without our great governor, Governor Sanders, allowing us to serve in these positions. So first of all, thank her for this opportunity. 29 years into my law enforcement career, and I'm still excited about getting up and going to work every day. That's pretty amazing. And then our Attorney General, Tim Griffin, gave us the opportunity. He funded the build-out of the podcast center and recording studio. And then Colonel Mike Hager, the Secretary of the Department of Public Safety, just for his leadership and continuing to push us to excellence every single day. So what we want to do today is simply introduce the podcast, the purpose behind this, what we're going to do. But I guess before we do that, we've got to let you guys introduce yourselves. So who are we, right?
I guess I'll go first.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes. Please, if you would.
For those that do not know me, I'm Eric Wacaster, and I get to serve as the Deputy Director of Law Enforcement Standards for the Arkansas Division of Law Enforcement Standards and Training.
Well, that's a lot.
That's really.
An acronym?
I don't know that. At that point, is it even worth having an acronym? It can't. The acronym wouldn't fit itself on a business card.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, sir.
You're fine. You're fine.
Good.
Let's see. Sitting on about 20 years law enforcement service total. Most of that time was at Hot Springs Police Department. Retired there at the end of 2020. Then I decided I want to go to law school. Went to law school. I was a deputy prosecutor in Hot Springs for a while. Came on board with CLES as the counsel, and now I'm sitting as the deputy director over standards. And I just can't help but think, knowing you guys for as long as I've known each other, it's just humbling to sit and think that we're sitting in these chairs doing a podcast for the state of Arkansas law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's humbling. Yeah. It's humbling.
That's awesome.
All right, the tall, good-looking guy.
Yes.
You're good-looking, but I'll take the other one.
Yeah. We're waiting for the tall, good-looking guy to get here. My name is Jason Lawrence. I'm the Deputy Director of Training for the Arkansas Division of Law Enforcement Standards and Training, ATLIST. So you can write that down so that way
How do you spell that?
Yeah, exactly. So just a little bit about me. From Hot Springs, a little over 20 years of law enforcement experience. Spent time with the Garland County Sheriff's Office, where I was proud to serve for many years. Left there a little over a year ago. At that point, I'd worked my way up to chief deputy or undersheriff. Proud to serve in that position on a true calling from God. The director gave me a call one day and asked me if I wanted a job. I said no, and he said, well, let me point out some things to you. So, and I think it's important to point out, his vision of, hey, let's make some changes statewide. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I jumped on at that point. So I take over, the training side. That's our basic academy, advanced training, things like that. So definitely happy and proud to be here, sir.
That's awesome. Well, I'm Chris Clem.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm the good-looking one. It's a lot of the weight that I have to carry.
Well, for our future audience, since we don't have an audience yet, I'm apologizing on the front end. So.
It's very appropriate,
Thank
sir.
you.
15 years of law enforcement, mostly from a leadership perspective. About 25 years of ministry experience. I'm here because I have a PhD in leadership. And for DPS and CLEST and ASP, I'm over research and planning for Arkansas DPS, and I'm over the leadership development unit. So my focus and role is to help in the leadership area, help us to get where we need to be as officers and as a civilian staff from a leadership perspective. And there's a lot of focus on wellness. My research is on officer wellness and resiliency and the focus on leadership there. And I love the field, love being with you guys, and I feel like we're making a difference for the future of our state.
It most definitely takes a unique personality to fit within this social circle.
Yes.
So congratulations on being that unique individual.
Yes, there'll be counseling, I'm sure, involved. So very excited.
You are pastoring a very small flock, but very unique.
Yeah, they are quite needy. So yes.
My name's Chris Chapmond. I get the pleasure of serving as the director for the Arkansas Division of Law Enforcement Standards and Training. Also the Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and Training, depending on which website you look at and which acronym you're using today. But in my 29th year, most of that time was spent with Hot Springs. Had the pleasure of serving as chief there. And then the governor asked me to do this. Wasn't looking for this job when it was presented, but the blessings that God opens doors at certain times in our lives, and it's our responsibility to step through them. And sure wasn't expecting this portion of the journey we're on, but proud to be here. And I'm proud of what we're going to try to do with this podcast, and that's what I want to talk about next is what's our goals, what are we looking at doing, why are we doing this? It's very purposeful, very intentional, some of the things that we want to talk about. And so from my standpoint, and you guys jump in here, really want to focus on 3 or 4 things. We want to be good at whatever we're doing, so we focus on a small number of things. Obviously, the podcast is designed to be informational, right? Yep. So we want to bring information to our law enforcement community, updates, legal updates, training updates, standards updates. We are in a constant state of change right now in this division, and this may be one of the easiest ways to get that information out there. The second thing is we want to do roundtable discussions with officers, chiefs, sheriffs across the state of Arkansas, leaders in the law enforcement field, and discuss topics that are important to our profession. And I say profession, right? Because this is an amazing profession that we're serving in.
Agreed.
And a lot of different things deserve time around the table to be talked through. Third, debriefs. I want us to be able to sit down and debrief critical incidents, lessons learned, good and bad. And then the fourth thing, which I'm probably as passionate about as anything else, is I want us as a profession in the state of Arkansas, and we can kind of get into this a little more in depth, but we are going to focus on leadership, officer wellness, and resiliency. Every chance we get the opportunity to speak about that, I think it's worth our time. So those are the 4 things that I envision us achieving through this podcast. I think it's going to be fun, but serious and all the things at the same time. So what are you guys thinking? I mean, obviously, so today this is our whiteboard. We're big whiteboard guys, right? So right now this table is our whiteboard, and so let's put some things out there for the future audience and let them know kind of what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, I can't think of a more appropriate format for some of the things we're trying to accomplish as far as trying to get that information out to our audience, to our customers, right? Because Arkansas law enforcement is our customers within our division. So just the ability to put this out in this long form content where they can play it in their car, they can get these updates that we need. If it's something that instead of trying to do a death by PowerPoint recorded lesson that they log into the portal to see, like, so there's just so many doors that this studio and this format open up. It's only good things can come of it. It's a tool. We always talk about putting more tools in our toolbox. It's a game changer in my opinion. I can't wait to see where it goes. I really can't.
Well, to me, that information is also education. We talk about this. We talk about it in all the classes that we teach. We should be masters of our craft in all aspects. So that information is education. So what education and information we want to push out there. So I'm excited about that. And I think we had also talked about, we want our viewers, those who are listening to this, we want them to give us some input. What do they want? And I think that's that growth of, hey, yeah, we can sit up here and talk and we can pick the topics, but we want people to tell us. We want cops to tell us, hey, I want to hear about this, and let them kind of drive it as well.
Yeah, and then get them around the table, right?
Absolutely.
So I will say this. We will have a way that you can send in requests for topics. Don't be surprised that if you send in a topic that you want us to discuss, that we don't invite you to sit around the table and discuss it with us, because I think that's a big part of what we want to accomplish is not seeing things just from our perspective, but from the vantage points of the men and women out there doing the job at the patrol level, CID. I mean, just think about the topics we could discuss: human trafficking, narcotics, investigations, patrol, debriefing critical incidents. So I think, fantastic. We want to hear what they want to hear.
Yes, sir.
What do they want to hear? But they need to be prepared to sit around the table with us.
Well, and I love what you just said: information, education, and you're alluding to it, inspiration.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we become inspired by.
You should get your doctoral degree.
Well, I'll pray about that.
Yes,
So I'll get back to you.
Should we call you doctor?
That'll be great. But I love the fact that we hear these stories and they inspire us. We've talked about that and hearing what other departments can do. I think, we look at the larger departments, but what are the smaller departments are doing, and how they're connecting. And I think that what we see and hear can really inspire all of us to achieve the next level. And I love the fact that we're doing it here in the state. So these are our people, our stories. Right. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, and there's about 14,000 of them out there.
That's
plus
awesome.
their families.
Yes.
Right. So a lot of what we will talk about
Absolutely.
will impact families. And you talk about the smaller departments. So what's our numbers?
800
800 agencies plus.
Yeah, we're sitting around 800 agencies. The vast majority of those are, less, 15, 20 officers, and some even much, much less than that. It's been an eye-opening experience just seeing, and you can't pretend that those smaller agencies have the same resources as the larger agencies. Right. So what can we do, right, within the walls of where we're housed now to provide resources? And what better than to have a training resource like this, where that man or woman's out there working graveyard shift in their town of 1,000 people, and they can be like, hey, I can download this podcast where they're talking about this most recent decision that came out of the 8th Circuit that's going to affect me whenever I make that next traffic stop, and it's a Fourth Amendment issue that I'm trying to work through, or whatever. It's just
Or we talk about the traffic stop that went bad. And
Absolutely.
You had to fight your way through.
Absolutely.
I know we've got some of those planned. And so, I think we got a blank slate, clean canvas today. And the opportunity to introduce the podcast is a starting point. And I look forward to where we go from here and the opportunities to have open, honest discussion about our profession. Not being afraid to talk about difficult subjects. Celebrating our successes, because there's a lot more successes than failures, and then admitting that we do fail sometimes and determining how we overcome those failures to prevent them from happening again. Yeah. Excited, Doc, that you're part of the team. I mean, just bringing your perspective in from the leadership wellness, you've inspired us. I know we have the opportunity to teach all over the state now, and specifically leadership wellness and resiliency. It's been one of the most it's been a true blessing for me to be part of that, and so we get to bring that to the table as well. Yeah. But so it's my understanding for our future audience, if we kind of sneak this session out there a little earlier, that the podcast will be released December 1st, here just in a few weeks. We're excited about that, and we've got a great lineup, or what we believe is a great lineup. We've taken some subjects that you might think might put you to sleep, but there's been a lot of laughter and some good information out there. Some really good conversations with some people that I would call first-rate, high-class professionals, legends in our field. Yes, sir. And then we've had some discussions about leadership and wellness that are inspirational. Yeah. So I look forward to gathering our audience and to hearing some feedback from cops across the state, deputies, officers, troopers, finding out what they want to learn, what they want to talk about, and then delivering that. But I'm excited.
I am too.
New chapter.
It'll be great. It is exciting.
What a blessing. We live in a state that supports and loves law enforcement, and how lucky and we are that we get to serve in this season. The director said it in actually a class just recently that we're cops. We just happen to be assigned here right now.
Yeah, this is our assignment.
This is our assignment.
We're never going to forget that we're cops. We came up through the ranks. We've served in all those positions, and we are blessed to be in a leadership role. This is our season. This is our assignment currently, and we get to help drive the profession. I'll say this. So there's 5 outcomes to everything we do in life, right?
You can say it
and so
you can say it a million times, never get old.
I will simply tease this because we're going to have the man, the legend, Clint Bruce here at the table very soon. But there's 5 outcomes to everything we do, and it's bad, average, good, excellent, and elite. And our goal is to drive the profession in the state of Arkansas, the law enforcement profession in the state of Arkansas, where our baseline every day is excellence.
Yes, sir.
And then if we can achieve that, then every once in a while we're going to find that we can become elite, and that's where we want to be. So let's wrap this up. I'm excited to announce that the 10-8 podcast is in service and fixing to go live. Yeah. We hope that people tune in and see the value in this. And so from all of us here at the Department of Public Safety, the Division on Law Enforcement Standards and Training, a.k.a. CLEST, and all the other terms that are used out there about us, we're looking forward to it. Yes, sir. And so, again, thank you to the Governor, the Attorney General, Colonel Hager for his leadership, and we look forward to what the future has to bring. So we're signing off, but we're never out of service, right? 10-8.
10-8.
Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
It's going to be fun.